What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Grow, Live, Dream. I am your boy, LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T. Hutton, the motivator. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Feeling great. Feeling great. It's been a good day. Got up, took care of some business things first thing this morning.
Yeah.
Man, dropped my dog off. He's having a fun day. It's a good day across the board, man. I ate lunch with the wife, man. It's about to be a great remainder of the day. Probably try to get her out the house, go to the shooting range or something.
Oh, man, I hear that, man. I've been out running around myself, man, just putting in this work. Woke up with that work on my mind. I said, look, I got some stuff to do. So I've been running around all morning and afternoon. Now it's time to put in this work for our people watching Grow, Live, Dream. Let me go ahead and make sure I do house cleaning rules. Make sure you guys, when you come in, make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, join in with us, man, and make sure that you share. We appreciate you guys taking the time out to jump on with us as we talk about these amazing topics. And today we're saying, where are you in the animal kingdom? Is that a tiger? What's up with you, T. Hutton? Start us off, brother.
Man, lion, tigers, and bears.
Oh my.
Look, is that a tiger? Look, we're going to be talking about a tiger today. Monday, you tuned in on Monday. If not, go back and watch that video. Great episode. We talked about lions. Are you going to be the king of your habitat, the king and queens of your kingdom? Today, we're talking about tigers and what set tigers apart in their habitat. What makes them who they are? And we're going to ask you, same question, are you a tiger? Because maybe you're not a lion. Maybe that's not who you are. Maybe that's not your story. I like people to say that all the time, man. That's not my testimony. What's your testimony? You may be a different kind of animal, but it doesn't change whether or not you are an apex predator. You're supposed to be at the top of the food chain in your habitat. So we're going to dive into it today. We're going to talk about some differences between the lions and the tigers, and we're going to focus and home in on the tigers themselves. What are some of the habits of a tiger? What does it look like to be a tiger, and what does it look like for you if you are a tiger? LeVar, when we think about this concept, is that a tiger? Like when people see tigers, what's the first thing they see about a tiger?
The stripes.
The stripes.
The stripes.
The stripes. The stripes set a tiger apart.
Yeah, like they set the tone. They said, I was about to say they set the tone. Like, oh, shoot.
Man, you be walking and you see a tiger, you be like, oh, hold up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's like seeing a tiger would be almost like you walking through the neighborhood and you see a dog off the leash. Like, hold up. Where did that come from? And it's interesting when we think about the stripes because there are some things that each one of us possess that makes us unique.
That's right.
They say that a tiger stripes is like a tiger fingerprint because if you was to shave off all the fur off the tiger, it would have the stripes on its skin. So no matter if you're trying to hide who you are, you still have the same DNA on the inside. There's something that makes you uniquely you.
You know what? I want to jump in on that real quick, right? Like you just said, there's something that's unique about every single last one of us. What's up, Yesenia? How you doing? There's something that's unique about every single last one of us. And I think that it's super important that we actually take the time out to know what our uniqueness is, right? And we actually give in to that uniqueness, right? Don't try to bury that uniqueness, right? More times than not, more people see your uniqueness before you see your uniqueness, right? Mm-hmm. That tiger not even worried about them stripes, but you worried about them stripes. when you see those stripes, right? So with that being said, and I'm gonna give it back over to you, T. Hutton. With that being said, make sure that you know what your uniqueness is. If you know what your uniqueness is already, go ahead and put it in the chat. Why? Because we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into making sure that we put our uniqueness up out here. Go ahead, T. Hutton.
So when we think about your uniqueness, when we think about what makes you, I ask you this, really challenge yourself. Like LeVar said, dive down deep into what that is, because oftentimes it's there that we find some of the most amazing things about ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's often there that we find our ability to really develop our dreams, our goals, to pursue our dreams and our goals. That's when we really learn more about our passions. Someone told me, if you wanted to start a business, what are you passionate about? What excites you about you? Now, is that something that you can market? Is that something that you can sell? Is there a service that you can provide? Some way you can take what makes you excited about life and add that to someone else's life. You know, LeVar, when you think about your passion, let me ask you this, LeVar, when you think about your passion, what makes you excited about you? What is the one thing that kind of like first thing jumps into mind?
Music, singing, writing. I already know you knew that. Singing, writing, everything about music. I love everything about it. That's something that I have a true passion for. Right? That's right, Yesenia. Don't bury. We're gonna go put that on the screen. We appreciate you. Don't bury your uniqueness. Right? Everyone at some point, I don't know as much as now. I need to change that. But at some point in my life, everyone that I ever came in contact with knew me for being a vocalist, knew me for loving music. Everyone, right? That was my uniqueness, right? That was unique to me. My voice is unique to me. Even my love, the way that I love it is unique to me, right? But adding to that, authenticity, right? We have to make sure that we're super authentic, right? With who we are. That's going to attract people. People being able to see you embrace your uniqueness. Most people, they have a hard time embracing their uniqueness.
Yeah.
They have a very hard time embracing it. So when they see people like you guys that are watching that embrace your uniqueness, that's something that's super special. How about you, T. Hutton? What's something that's unique to you?
You know what? I think it's learning. Like everybody knows me that knows that I am a avid learner. Like I'm all about it. Like we've joked so many times about it. What's the thing? What do you do when you win lotto? And I'm like, go back to school. And everybody's like, well, why? You win $500 million, $1 billion, you going to school? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a lifelong learner. I want to be able to learn and teach others. That's it. That's what I enjoy. That what makes me happy. And I like seeing the light go off in people's eyes when they learn something. There's nothing like seeing someone learn something new.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know I ain't never met anybody else in my life that loves reading the dictionary. This guy right here, he loves reading the dictionary. I'm like, man, like it's absolutely amazing. But you gotta love it when you know it's unique to you. And really quick before I give it back over to you. I got to put this on the screen. Yesenia said, wow, this is good. I get excited. A person that might be in a painful state, if they spend a little time with me, they elevate from that place. And she says, others have shared that with me, right? More times than not, other people see your uniqueness once again before you do. That's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, Tia.
So when we're talking about this uniqueness, like the tiger, you have these stripes, and sometimes they're seen and sometimes they're not. The good thing about the tiger stripes is you get to see those on the front side, like, oh, there he is, there's a tiger. But sometimes your uniqueness is buried beneath. But we're telling you, bring it to the surface, because I'll explain this to you. LeVar said it earlier. Those vertical stripes, when you see that tiger, those vertical stripes may look the same on a zebra, but they're two different animals. So somebody might seem like you. They might have some of the same unique characters of you, but they're not the same thing you are.
That's right.
Because see, tigers eat zebras. I got a shirt that says I got a shirt LeVar I had made, and it has a bunch of zebras all across the chest of it. And in the middle of it is a tiger, right? And it says, don't hang out with your food. Because what's happening is the tiger is trying to blend in. The back of the shirt says blend out, don't blend in. Because people are trying to blend in and they're trying to hide what makes them unique. And they're not really blending out and being who they are, true to themselves. If you're not true to you, you can't be true to anybody else. You know
and you know what? I'm gonna say that if you're not truly you can't be anybody else. You gotta be yourself, because even if you attempt to be something that you're not, what you're truthfully doing is dying inside. What you're truthfully doing is dying inside, right? For everybody who's watching, have you ever attempted to be something that you weren't, and you just, for whatever reason, you just weren't happy? Like, man, I'm not happy. Like this, I don't know what's going on. That's because you were living a life being something that you weren't. Right? I would rather be alone and being me, the authentic me, than to die inside.
Dude, like I can't even disagree with you on that. What I would say is this: when you look at being uniquely yourself, when you look at it, you have to be happy with each one of those stripes you have. If you are a tiger and you're happy with your stripes, put in the chat, I'm happy with me. Because too many people are unhappy with themselves. You know, they talk about depression and all of these different things. And one of the biggest problems we have when you're talking to kids, I go to schools and talk to kids about anti-bullying. One of the biggest things we see is it's not that the kid is just bullying the other kid, but they have low self-esteem. The problem is they're not happy with their stripes. They're not happy with what makes them uniquely themselves. So they lash out at others.
You know, there's a lot of people that have a problem with their unique stripes, but nobody else has a problem with them.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go ahead and put it out there on Jump Street, right? My keloids, right? I used to have a problem with my keloids. I used to be like, oh my God, like, you know, very, 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 used to be a scenario where I'd be like, man, like I hate the fact that my skin does this. I hate that. You know, I also have one on my chest. I used to hate it. Like, I hate it. But you know what I kept hearing? I kept hearing over and over again. Nobody sees it. Right? Yeah, it's there, but your personality is what sticks out. Nobody pays attention to that. But I was paying attention to it myself. But that's something that's unique to me now. This is something that's mine. I am who I am. I live and love myself. And that's what we have to do. You have to be okay with your unique self. If you're not paying a whole lot of attention to it, who cares about the people who just made?
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you're happy with who you are, where you are, and you run that. The doors are going to open with you doing that. Go ahead.
Real quick, some uniqueness that I noticed, and it just changed for this weekend, and I watched the video of it taking place, is Michael Strahan, NFL great, NFL legend. Just had what he was known for. People have been knowing him for so long because he had a gap in his teeth. He just had it closed.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's on ESPN. This has nothing to do with sports. That uniqueness went away, and the ESPN, the sports world, stopped and acknowledged it. Just imagine that. If the sports world stopped acknowledging something that simple, that uniqueness, how many times will the world look at your uniqueness when you hide it and wonder where it went? Because when your uniqueness vanished, there's something that happens in the world. Something comes up missing. When you look at it like from a business perspective, LeVar, the balance sheets are off. I know something's wrong. I'm missing something right now. When you come into contact with your friends and your family, those who you speak to each day, they know something's off about you. It was something about you that's changed. What's changed about you? And even if they can't see it, they know something shifted on the inside, and they started to ask you questions. Have you ever been questioned about somebody about like what's different about you today? Because something changed. And like LeVar said, it comes from trying to bury your uniqueness. Are you hiding your tiger stripes? Or are you letting your stripes shine and show brightly? Your uniqueness, show who you are and show the world that, hey, look, I'm good with me. I am comfortable in my own fur. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and you're going to have to love me for it.
So here's the thing that I love most about allowing it to shine through. When you allow it to shine through, the people that are uncomfortable with it will show their way out of their life, out of your life, by themselves. You won't even have to push them out. They'll walk right on out, because most people are used to people wanting to be something that they're not. Most people are used to people wanting to be something that they're not. But when you're unapologetically you, when you're unapologetically you, I am me, like it or not, I'm here. Those people who love that about people are going to find their way into your life. And those people who don't are going to find their way out. It's just something about having that light. Sometimes that light shines so bright, it blinds the people that is not meant for. Go ahead, man.
Hey, look, so we're going to move on with some similarities about some things about this tiger. Yeah. One of the things that we notice about the tiger also is the tiger hunts at night. Like most creatures hunt during the daytime, but a tiger is nocturnal. It tends to do most of its moving around and hunting at night. So there's something else that sets it apart, that makes it unique, that allows it to set itself apart from the rest of the world around it. It can hunt small prey, but it likes bigger prey. My point of saying that to you is this: just because you don't work a regular 9 to 5 doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. If you're willing to be different, sometimes you get bigger prey because the things that you're hunting for is different. So you have to change your perspective. You can't go out and chase in the middle of the day like everybody else because your prey is different. I remember when I first got into doing network marketing a while back, years ago, one of the things I used to tell everybody is like, you know what, my workday starts when your workday ends. Because most of the people I'm talking to are when they're getting off work. Because see, when you got a different mindset and you got a different goal, sometimes your work schedule is not going to be the same. It's not going to line up. You know what I mean?
I want to go a different route with it. Yeah, they're nocturnal. Okay, they hunt at night. A majority of us do what we do and move in the dark when no one else can see us. Just because we can't see the tiger hunting in the dark and in the night, don't mean the tiger ain't hunting in the night. You're a tiger. When no one else is looking, when no one else is seeing, you should be hunting. You should be putting in work. And that's the thing that I love most about this aspect of the tiger, right? Because a lot of us, we try to do what we do during the day, but at night we kind of like lounge. But truth of the matter is this: if you do work a regular 9 to 5 in the day, in the evening, you got to make sure that you're putting in that work. You got to make sure that you're working in the dark. So you should always be in a scenario where you feel like no matter whether anybody is watching me or not, I'm putting in work. What do you think about that, Tia?
You know what? I really feel like that's exactly it. Like, that's the thing about it. When you start to think about what are you doing in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're actually put in work in the dark, although people can't see it like this, LeVar, it's funny. You go to the gym and you work out and you work out and you work out and you work out, and someone hadn't seen you in a while. When they see you again, they're like, man, you lost weight, or man, you like you're putting on muscle mass. But like, because you didn't see me doing it didn't mean I wasn't doing it.
That's right.
A lot of times people don't see what's going on. You're starting a business and you're telling everybody you're starting a business, and they don't see all the work behind starting a business. Okay. And then at the grand opening, they like, oh man, you started a business. It's like,
you did
what? I've been working on this for a while. Mm-hmm. There was some stuff I had to get in order. I had to get a building. I had to get a license. I had to get an insurance. I had to do a lot of things to get things set up to start this business. All you see is a grand opening. You don't know all the work that was done in the dark. It's the same thing like a business is about our person as we develop ourselves in the dark. Because oftentimes it's in the dark that we truly develop ourselves, because it's in the dark when we're by ourselves and we actually have the ability to sit down and have that conversation with self.
100%. I need you guys to put committed in the chat. Committed, if you're committed to making sure that in the dark, when nobody else is looking, that you're putting in work. See, a lot of people only want to put in work when they feel like people watching them. Mm-hmm. A lot of people want to look like they put in their work because people watching them, right? But we know that corporations are formed behind closed doors. we know that the masses, the people that have done successful things, they were obsessed about those things when no one else was looking. Right? I have one of my favorite books by Grant Cardone. Says it's called "Be Obsessed or Be Average." Right? When you're obsessed about your next level, you moving regardless of whether people watching you or not. You putting in that work, making people uncomfortable regardless. We got to be committed to building that next level and doing what we need to do in the dark when no one else is watching. When no one else is watching, you're putting in that work. Make sure y'all put committed in the chat.
So here's some interesting stuff about a young tiger. Because when I read this, LeVar, I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. Tigers from birth are blind.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 to 2 weeks after birth when they first open their eyes. How many of us are walking around with our eyes closed? We read the first one. Huh?
As adults.
As adults. Been walking around for years with our eyes closed. Like, it doesn't change whether or not it's a tiger. He's still a tiger. He just can't see anything yet. But watch this. Fast forward 6 months. It says 6 months he starts hunting. So think about that. You go from being blind to hunting in 6 months. There's some development there. And you know why they say that the tigers are genetically blind for those first 2 weeks? Because it hones in on his most important sense, his ability to smell. Because see, when you don't have sight, you have to use something else. You have to use some of your other senses. I'm gonna preach for a breath second now. If you don't have sight, if you don't have vision, and look, if you don't have vision, you're gonna have to use some of your other senses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to somebody. If you don't have a vision, you're gonna have to use some of your other senses. There's something else that's being developed right now that you don't even know is being developed. There's another sense that you're working on that's being strengthened right now because you're lacking in another area. Continue to move forward. Continue to work and develop that area, because when it's time, that's going to be what keeps you alive. Because if the tiger couldn't sense or couldn't smell, he wouldn't be able to hunt. You got that? If he couldn't smell, how could he hunt? He got to be able to hunt for the next years of his life, for the remainder of his life. If you don't develop that sense while you're young, LeVar, if you don't develop this ability right now, how can you have this life later? Because this is what's required. There's a cost of admission. For anything you want to accomplish in life, there's a cost of admission. There's a fee.
A cost of admission. I absolutely love that. So let me go ahead and add to that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's go ahead and add to it. Listen, in that time frame, that cub has to trust his mother too.
Yep.
Has to trust his mother as well. Listen, you may be new in a business. You can be new in a venture. Make sure you have a mentor that can lead you. Because in the beginning, you're just a cub. In the beginning, you just new. You want to make sure that you surround yourself around people that can lead you until you completely come into all of your senses. Just think about the base of what that is right there. That man said, look, I'm blind. I got to learn to use these other senses. Then my eyesight. And for the rest of that, and for the rest of that tiger's life, they're using all of the senses, not just the eyesight. Man.
Look, go a step further, LeVar. Tell him the other part about the tiger, because the fact that he lives alone. So if you don't develop that ability to sense, like that mentor may not always be there. That person may not always, that mother may not always be there to guide you. And if you don't develop that sense,
100%.
If you don't develop that sense at the beginning, then guess what? You're not going to survive it. If you don't get it right now, if you don't take the time to learn what you need to learn right now. Somebody told me that, you know what, if you would take the time and put an audio book in your car instead of listening to the radio. Don't get me wrong, Steve Harvey Morning Show is amazing. But if you would take and put in the audio book into your radio player, and over the course of 2 years, you could have learned enough information that would be equivalent to an associate degree. Imagine that. 2 years driving is almost like equivalent to 2 years of in college. How much time you spend behind the wheel for the average commuter? Are you willing to put in the time to learn something?
I absolutely love this. I love this because I was actually just having a conversation with a friend of mine just a little bit ago. And I was explaining to her that as you continue to learn, grow, right? Read these books, go personal development courses, do personal development courses, and do different things. What happens to that knowledge is it starts compounding. So it doesn't go away. As long as you can persistent and consistently reaching for knowledge and wisdom, it just starts compounding. Now notice, right? As the tiger was getting the senses together, as it was learning how to come into itself, it ended up being able to be in a place to where it could eventually hunt for itself, live by itself. So that wisdom, that knowledge, it compounded. What we're doing is we're running away. We're running away from the wisdom and the knowledge. We're not even putting it in front of us because it doesn't immediately give us impact. It didn't immediately make us $1 million. It didn't immediately put us in an 8,000 square foot, 10,000 square foot home. It didn't immediately make us the best husband or father or best wife or mom. It didn't immediately do that. We have to make sure that we're learning the way that we're learning, because compounding will mean that eventually you're going to be the best you. Go ahead.
Look, watch this. I got to say this because I love when you said it, and I just like to touch on stuff. Immediately, microwave, compounding, oven. Which one you think provides the best meal? In the chat.
Wait,
I'm just asking, which one you think provides the best meal? Because let's be honest with you, you can't bake nothing in the microwave. I don't care what they tell you. You can't really bake a pie. I don't want no apple pie or no microwave. Put me some in the oven. I want a roast. I want it to come out the oven, not the microwave. You're not gonna cook me a chicken in the microwave. Don't get me wrong. That's some nice stuff. I like a hot pocket. It tends to burn the roof of my mouth, but it's cool. But it ain't gonna be better than something out the oven.
One of them explosion sounds, right? Boom!
It's not gonna be better than something coming out the oven, because let's be honest. If you really want something worth having, it takes time to develop. LeVar's telling you that this knowledge, this learning, this personal development, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's worth it.
Listen, it's going to take time to get,
it's worth
it's going to take time to keep.
Say it again.
It's either going to take time to get, or it's going to take time to keep. Either way, it's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
You have to put in that time.
It's going to cost you something. It's going to take some time. You know what the most limited resource is we have, LeVar, as people? Time. What are you putting your time into? What are you investing your time into? Like when we look at this tiger, what did he invest his time into? I'll tell you, developing his sense of smell, because it's that sense of smell that made him the apex hunter that he is, that allowed him to live by himself, that allowed him not only to hunt on land, but tigers, unlike other big cats, like being in the water. They can hunt in the water. Their sense of smell is so good that they can hunt in the water. Imagine that. You just out there on a little daily swim, maybe on a little tubing down the river, and you see a tiger just swims on by, like, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, because the tiger loves the water. He can hunt anywhere. He's not one-sided. He's not one-dimensional. I'm telling you, develop yourself so you don't be one-dimensional, because there's some opportunities that may not be on land. There are some opportunities that may not come at the job that you're at right now. You might have a nice corner office, but there may be an opportunity outside of that corner office that's going to require some more from you. So when we're telling you to develop yourself, it's not just for just yourself. Develop yourself for your family. Develop yourself for now, and develop yourself for your future.
Let me go ahead and say this, and then I'm gonna let. Oh, you want me to go close it out? Close it out. So listen, y'all. They say you can hear the roar of a tiger up to 2 miles away. 2 miles away. It's as loud as it's like 25 times the sound of a lawnmower. In your life, you have the ability to put off the type of energy that people will be able to feel from miles away. You being that unique you moving into an authentic place, in an authentic place, right? Having that particular energy, growing that particular energy, manifesting the things in your life that you deserve, but walking into that, walking into being who you are, right? Got a chance to see Yesenia, listen to her say that she loves helping people, right? You have to walk into what you love, walk into that mindset, walk into be authentically you, and no one's going to stop, change, or move that out of the way. And the more you become you, the louder you look, the louder you sound, the more people you're going to inspire, The more people that are going to move and see you in your path and say, I want to be able to do the exact same thing. But you got to be authentically you. You got to wear your stripes out loud. You got to wear your stripes to where you don't care who sees it. And regardless, you're going to be you. Unauthentically you. Well, authentically you. It's your time to be able to do that. We appreciate everybody taking the time out their schedule and making sure that they jump on here. The ones that are committed to being here with us. We appreciate you. I see Gerard all the time. Thank you. I see you, Cynthia, all the time. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. Make sure you guys share. Make sure you guys continue to comment. Make sure you guys continue to go to growlivedream.com. We have some amazing things that are coming down the line, y'all. I can't even, listen, I'm so excited about what we have in store. And we're going to rock this thing on. We're going to continue touching lives. We're going to continue building. We're going to continue growing. We're going to continue living. And we're going to continue dreaming. Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. We'll talk to y'all soon. Once again, my name is LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T. Hutton, the motivator. Grow a little dream. We out, y'all.